Okay,
Yeah, we're waiting for Jesse. She's just got to get the internet up.
Okay, we're good to go.
Okay. Can I have a motion and a second to reconvene the public meeting?
motion.
Second.
I'll second. Mark seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Jesse, will you please call the roll and then, actually, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance first and then call the roll?
Yes. I pledge
Thank
allegiance
you.
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then as far as roll call,
Yeah,
Ms. Panico,
here.
Mr. Washaw,
Here.
Uh-oh. Okay, there he is. Lady, mute.
I'm here. Sorry about that.
mute your phone, that would be great. Ms. Kennedy,
Present.
You have to mute when you're done speaking, please.
we just lost Mark, but I'll make sure he gets back on. Ms. Napolitano-Ferno,
Present.
thank you. And then we have Dr. Adams,
Present.
Mr. Middleman,
Present.
thank you, and Mr. Kolahifar,
Present.
thank you. And then myself, Ms. Kemp as the district clerk.
Jesse, I just want to let you know that Mr. John Allen is here also.
Thank you, and Mr. Allen.
And Bridget is not with us today?
No, she's not here today.
Okay. All right. So I would like to get a motion and a second to accept the Schedule 1 resignations, terminations, and leaves of absences. All motion.
I'll second. Jackie.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Is Mark back with us?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye. Sorry about that.
No problem. Schedule 2. Before we do that, I know there was a couple of things that between myself and the other board members we wanted to just ask in public. I noticed that there was not a lot of YFS mental health workers on this agenda. So Reza, you had an answer for that, and that should have been asked and answered in public. So could you please give that answer?
Absolutely. So the YFS workers, we are still in the process of going through the interviews. I believe that will be ready to go for the September 22nd agenda. And the custodians, we are finishing up those interviews, and I do believe there are a lot of those individuals that are either on this agenda tonight, or there will be some follow-up on Tuesday night's agenda.
I have one question. Before we hire extra YFS workers, I would like to see the plan. Just to hire them with no plan, just to be helpers to the YFS workers that are in place is probably not the answer I want to, the reason that they're there. So can you please give us an agenda of what their responsibilities will be and what buildings? Thanks.
I will make sure that I work with Dean on that, and he and I will have something prepared for you for right before they're hired, I believe on the 22nd, if that's okay.
Thank you.
Reza, I'm just wondering what happened, because this was something that Ms. Santos came to the board and had a while back. We're going back a few months ago. Why this is the one of the hirings that has obviously been pushed back?
Miss
I mean,
Miss
this-
Santo is
Please.
the Miss
This
Santo is
really,
the,
well, I'm just saying this really should have been in place before school went into session.
Jackie, that ends up being an executive session discussion that I don't want to out any reason as to why that didn't happen. But if you recall, there was an administrator who wasn't able to complete that due to an illness that she suffered. And
Okay.
there,
Well, I thought I apologize. I thought you were the one that was doing the hiring. That's why.
I do the hiring at the end of the process, the beginning of the process, and the committees are all formed by the directors and principals and other administrators.
Okay. Let's move
Okay. So my next question before we go to Schedule 2 was the cost of all this hiring is going to be what, Linda?
on. $4 million.
So we're
And
looking at somewhere around, with all the different hiring for the expansion of the sections due to the social distancing, as well as additional custodial help, additional TA and aid help for supervision of kids, about $4 million.
Can I ask you a question,
wait-
Linda?
Yes.
Wait, I'm not finished, Lee.
Okay, go ahead.
Wait 1 second. Does that include the next two agendas of hiring
Yes.
for, again, with all COVID? Okay. And the final question to that is, it's actually for Bridget. Where are we tightening up all these numbers? I mean, we have a lot of codes that are over budgeted, so I guess we're going to really go tight now, right?
Yes, I think some of this will also have to come from some of the monies we would generally refund into the reserves from last year's budget. So some of that will come through a resolution to the board to use some of those funds rather than refunding some of the reserves to offset some of this cost.
All right. Go ahead, Lee, you're up.
Well, that was probably one of my questions. But now I'm going to play devil's advocate. For two things I'm going to ask. One, I hope not, but what happens if we don't get the funding in the middle of the year? That's number one question. Number two question is what is going to happen next year that we have taken so much money out of our reserves? What is it going to look like for the future? Future meaning next year, and so we'll just go out 2 years for the future. I know Bridget's not there, but can anyone else answer that question?
So I think we can provide you with more in-depth analysis of that once we close the books for this year. Because we were anticipating being able to close the books, and we're working with the auditors, obviously, and usually the finalization of that is in October. So we will be able to provide you with more information on the monies that were not expensed last year, what our reserves look like at this point and at that point. And then the board can decide what to do with any of the funds that would normally have been reserved into our reserves. And honestly, if we lose 20% of the funding, there will be some very, very deep cuts halfway through the year, as a lot of districts are already cutting. A lot of districts took teachers and really took their programs down to bare bones. There were quite a few districts just recently who let their teachers know within the last week or so that they would not have jobs as of next week. And we've tried to keep our entire program intact for our students right now because we feel that's the right thing to do. If we do lose 20%, which is about $11 million, there will be some very deep decisions that we have to make as an administrative cabinet and board.
Wow.
Okay, does anybody else have any other questions?
No?
Okay. My last thing, Linda, I brought this up in, exec two, and it should have been a public question, so I'm gonna ask it again now. We have heard that some schools, like Sachem, are pushing back, their start date. Is that something that we should be thinking about for, secondary levels, or can we do that? Is it feasible? Or why not?
The way state education department works in the state aid formula, your calendar must be 180 days minimally. So the way ConnectWatt works, we have 184 days in the teacher calendar in our contractual bargaining agreement. However, the way our 184 days work, 2 of those days are snow days. So the contractual bargaining agreement with the Teachers Association states that if we do not open for 2 snow days, then the calendar runs and we do not have to give those 2 days back. If we do not have any snow days and we never have to close, we actually give those 2 days back around the Memorial Day holiday. So in effect, there's 182 total work days for our teachers. So that's okay because we only need 180 days in order to receive all of our state aid. However, in the state aid formula, if you we're permitted to have no teacher-student contact 4 of those 180 days. So in a sense, you have to have 176 teacher-student contact days. So the way our calendar works out right now, we have taken 4 of those 182 days pre-opening for kids for our teachers to work together on our grade levels with our curriculum directors and our principals to be more ready to open for our kids next Thursday. So that leaves us 178 days for teacher-student contact. However, we also have 1 day that is election day, which is our parent-teacher conference day, which is not a student-teacher contact time day. So we have 177 days right now in the calendar that are student-teacher contact. So if we do not have student-teacher contact days for 176 of those 177, we would begin to have state aid be reduced. So right now, I would like to hold on to that day just in case there's something later in the school year where we need to have our teachers in for something without our students. So pushing school right now further, I'm not sure how other contractual bargaining agreements work, but the contractual bargaining agreement here right now, we're only have 1 day of wiggle room for our teacher-student contact time.
Linda, there's been a lot of concerns about the training, and I just thought of this, I'm sorry. There's been a lot of concern about the training for the teachers on the virtual platforms, you know, and the live streaming, the synchronous learning. Would it behoove us to speak with the union and maybe push it back a day and get them to give up the Memorial Days or something, I don't know, so that we can work within the law? I don't know how that works, but is it something that we would be able to do?
So that students wouldn't start.
Yeah, I mean, if the teachers have concerns that they don't know what they're teaching, or, you know, we've gotten a lot of those emails, you know, that they need some more training. So is that something that the union would, you know, that you would be able to talk to the union about to get the days back, to push it back? I mean, it's pretty late in the game now, but is there something that we could do?
We had an administrative meeting earlier today.
Okay.
Administrators brought all of the concerns that the teachers had. We met with the secondary administrators and directors and chairs because the teachers are concerned about the live streaming aspect of the job that starts next week. So
Right.
We haven't had an opportunity yet to talk to the teachers union and the teachers. I mean, I can tell the board right now that we are looking to not go synchronous on Thursday and Friday for a variety of reasons. One of them being that we have students who have never been on Google Classroom. because it was, the teachers were permitted to use any platform that they wanted to in the spring. And one of the teacher concerns was having the Google Classroom invitation, which is a code, somehow get into the wrong hands if we were to email it to students, or if we were to send it home to students, or if we were to post it live on our pages, and that that we might have people from outside try to get into our Google Classrooms with our kids. So that was a real concern. Another concern was that we have teachers who teach, like our physical education teachers, who teach hundreds and hundreds of kids and not just 100 or 120 a day. And the creation of the Google Classrooms is somewhat time consuming. So we felt that it would be helpful for both our teachers and our students if the first 2 days of school, when kids were in person, the teachers would teach them how to get into their Google Classrooms, invite them all in, set up the Google Classrooms with the kids in their classrooms, and walk them through, just like they normally would walk them through the syllabus, but also walk them through all the online platforms that they would be using, without expecting the kids who are home to be able to get on synchronously. So day 1 and day 2, groups 1 and group 2 on Thursday and Friday would be taught face-to-face with the teacher how to walk through the platform, how to create the Google Classroom and be invited into the Google Classroom. And that way everybody could practice a little bit with the kids in front of them without, without having the stress of having kids who may never have logged on, have to log on that first day of school and follow their entire schedule. So we were looking to postpone the synchronous part of instruction till Monday, September 14th. But our principals are putting together grade level classrooms, Google Classrooms, which they will be sending out the invitation, not the link, not the code. So it would be very specific to just the kids who are in those grade levels in those buildings, where they will have an orientation video, where they will have the ability to take a mental health assessment tool, just to kind of get some feedback. We did have some children who emailed me, some students in the district saying, Dr. Adams, you keep emailing our parents and asking them to kind of talk for us, and we would like to give you some information ourselves. So our YFS workers with Ms. Santo and our guidance counselors will just put together a few questions for the kids to log in, link up, give us some information, and we will also give them the opportunity to look through the regulation on computer use, the code of conduct, and some other computer etiquette things in those classrooms, and then kind of just say that they've read it and they understand it. And then everybody would be ready to start synchronous instruction on Monday. It gives the teachers a couple more days. It gives our principals and directors and our IT folks a couple more days. They'll have their last period class, which is a time without students in the building, where they can work together to do a little bit more practice. And I think it gives everybody the opportunity to breathe a little bit, meet their teachers face to face. The kids meet each other face to face in the classrooms for those 2 days. And we're listening that our teachers are concerned, our parents are concerned, because we've never done this before. So it gives us a little bit of a breather, and it doesn't give us any state aid issues.
Sorry, I was on mute. Okay, thank you, Linda. So at this time, I want to make a motion, and I need I need a motion and a second to approve Schedule 2 as amended. We are pulling 3C and tabling 3D and 3DD. So I need a motion to
Motion,
accept that as amended.
motion.
Lee, is that you?
Yep.
Okay. Can I get a second?
Second.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And then, okay. The consent agenda, had on it just the list, right? Linda? Hello? Can everyone hear me?
I'm sorry.
Okay,
The consent agenda just had that one thing on it, correct?
It has two, I believe. It has the field use permits and the impartial hearing officer.
Oh, right. Did I get the answers to my questions on that one?
I did, I sent it to you.
Okay. So for the, I want to vote on each of them separately, please, if you don't mind. I have to look at my email now. So for one, the field use permit, there's
Motion.
a lot of the, well, hold on, Lee. There's motion. Oh, we need a motion, a second to discuss, right? Sorry. So Lee motioned, I'll second. And my only comment on this is that the field use permits are still pending the requirements. So every single one of them has something pending.
Yes.
So at this point, I'm going to ask to table that.
well, they're starting on the 21st, is that it?
No, this is the local organizations, and we have, as a board, you all have in the past approved them pending the document.
Right, but I
And then
said
as
in
the
the past
document-
that I would not do that again.
Okay,
So we can either table them or we can vote on it. I'm okay either way. But if
I'd
we vote on it,
rather vote on it because I think this is ridiculous. We've held up.
I'd rather vote on it as well, because, time
okay,
to-
then we vote.
We've held up all these
Okay.
people and they.
Jackie, it's fine. We can vote. We can vote right now. That's fine. So
Can I ask, is there legal advice here?
We
no,
went
legal's
through
not here
this,
today.
Mark, we went through this last time. They
I
wrote,
just wanted to ask.
And I
Good.
said last time that I wouldn't approve things without all their information, all the full stuff. We have to do things properly. That was what I said. So we can vote. I'm okay with it too. It'll go through. I'm okay with that. Fine too. I have no
Mark.
problem.
Mark, we discussed it and the attorney wrote something up. So they have
Lee,
to
I'm
have.
good. I just wanted to ask him something, but I'm good. We're good, Lee.
All right. We have 13 minutes before I have to leave, and then Mark, you're gonna have to take over. And we only have 2 items. So
I think we can do
can I get a motion and a second to accept item number 1 on the consent agenda, field usage?
I'm a motion.
Second,
All in favor? We're on all in favor, actually.
We're at all in favor for number 1.
Yes, aye. Yes,
aye.
So Lee and Jackie is an aye and Mark is an aye. I don't need to vote. That's fine. I'll abstain from that one. The last item is the impartial hearing office. I need an all in favor or any discussion on that.
no discussion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's 3.
Jackie?
Jackie, we didn't hear from you, but
I said aye.
okay, good. And at this time, that's it. I would like to call for a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting.
Motion?
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good night, everyone. Have a great weekend.
have a good weekend,
Have a
everyone.
safe and healthy
Friday,
Labor
days.
Day, everybody.
You too. Bye-bye.